Next in the lineup, we have got Professor Ravindra Sanayak. Professor Ravindra has completed his MArch in Sustainable Architecture. He is a budding PhD student at VTU Belgavi, Karnataka, a former member of Constitution of Board of Studies of Architecture D. Batu, State Government of Maharashtra, advisor and resource speakers to YESDA, State Institute of Urban Development, State Government of Maharashtra. He has a versatile experience of working with students, bureaucrats, academicians, professionals, and diplomats under public and private domain. Apart from being an architect, he also is an author, philanthropist, humanitarian, and principal founder of Shilpsagar Academy and chairman of Vijay Lakshmi Charitable Trust. As an academician in sustainable architecture, in the last few years he has built his CV in a dynamic manner in which he enjoys the pedigree of publications, research papers, both national and international, write ups in IAA magazines, articles for colleges magazines, and more than 24 number of seminars, workshops, and training programs at state and national level. He has also acted as a jury for national level competitions. He has updated and upgraded with QIPs of UN, UNESCO, ISTE, and IITs. Recently, he was invited to SEAT 80 Awards London for his voluntary works in architectural education at large. Professor Ravindra is a resource speaker and advisor for various seminars at YESDA at the State Institute of Urban Development for topics related to smart cities, sustainability, urban design, bylaws, and building rating systems. Syllabus designed for policymakers, politicians, SIDCO Navi Mumbai authorities, town planning officials of the nations. He was coordinator to bridge ideas from Kolhapur city, architecture colleges, and municipal corporations under the guidance of former Home Minister of State. He has also been a team member for presentation to former Chief Minister of State on social infrastructure projects. Today, Professor Ravindra will be presenting upon his topic Virtual Society Paradigm Shift Sustainable Approach Based on Indicators. In this topic, we will try to understand the sustainable indicators and how they influence in estimation of sustainability of places or cities. With the same regards, we will also try to understand the virtual concept from which he will discuss the pros and cons of the same. Once we have cleared our concept, we shall discuss a new foresight in achieving sustainability through an opportunistic approach of the COVID epidemic situation. We already know bigger challenges of global warming can cause more severe damage to human race, which has to be addressed simultaneously in the coming years. So we shall forecast a robust model to attenuate the global crisis which were faced by the world in this COVID situation as a remedial measure. Over to you, Professor Ravindra.
Hello, good morning, and a warm welcome to all the participants of Unitalk. Uh, our today's discussion topic is virtual society, paradigm shift, sustainable approach based on indicators. In this presentation, we are going to understand what is the concept of virtual society. It would be a bit offbeat from architecture, but we are going to understand virtual society and its fabric so that we can relate it to the sustainability indicators. We are also going to understand sustainability indicator story and how the things came up and how SDGs came up and what was before that and what is now our projection for 2030. And then we would be trying to quote our requirement on paradigm shift right now and conclude with the conclusion of how virtual society can be the paradigm shift towards new era or as a new sustainable indicator. So understanding virtual society. So we all know that in virtual society or in our daily life also or our daily experience also, we are strongly influenced by the culture. So how culture is imbibed with us by our working schedules, languages, religion, food, folk art, and also mannerism and jokes and day-to-day celebration. It all depicts our culture. And culture has evolved from a long time through our vernaculars also. Let's take a small example, like vernaculars influenced the clothing style. The vernaculars of that region, the climatical context of that region influenced the clothing styles of the people living in that region. Then it got into the building style, the bracing of the building envelope, and descending towards formulating the culture of that region. Whereas now we are strongly influenced by one more gear now, called virtual society, through which right now we are communicating. Somehow our culture is replicated through our virtual behavior and interests also. Social visualization is an interdisciplinary intersection of information visualization to study creating intuitive depictions of massive and complex social interactions for social purposes. This is the uh, for social visualization. This we can take the example like right now previous elections also, they were also influenced by social media. They were also uh, marketed, or they were also campaigned through the social media. So this realization which goes subconsciously in our minds throughout the world in this imbibed network is the social visualization what we are trying to understand over here. What are the issues of representations of identity and expressions in virtual society? So association issues are there. Eventually, how to get associated, trustability, transitory, subjectivity, cross-cultural meanings credited to an object. Because lot of things coming up to us from different parts of globe, different parts of cultures, different ends, and understanding things of different importance. All this happens on this virtual society. Cultural phenomena in virtual objects, nature of an immaterial and intangible environment, issues of identity deception. Yeah, security is also an issue, but we can overcome that through advanced technology and advanced cyber texture. Building virtual world is a new form of self expression, and this is the time of lockdown we can experience the same. Eventually everyone coming up to social media or any whatever media of world wide web, and we are trying and we have been influenced by these marketing through the social media or through other options of world wide web. So how effective commodification? Yeah, this was also always there. This was happening right now. This was the happening age, virtual age to us. We were doing shopping online. We were having e-commerce. We were transacting money. We were designing online. We were looking for fashion online. We were marketing. We were identifying things. So virtual society is also playing role in trading also in our day-to-day tradings. And another important thing is like pedagogy and communication. We are teaching learning through online medium right now. We are we are learning through an online classroom. We are right now all of the world has come online. The institutes are sharing their virtual spaces now. Everything has gone to another dimension. So this realization, how we will try to relate in architecture, is our concern in our next topic. Universities, virtual organizations, existence, society of audience, online social world, chat rooms, etc. Even at the city level, how city and online world interact. So if we take city as a metaphor for online world, city is a hub of information where we can find place places, different information, different people, different characters. We can also find some updates on the news, and it's a place of strange tears also by chance, and crime and doubtful morality, surveillance and security, and all the characteristics what we see and experience in the day-to-day life, we are experiencing it in the virtual world also. So this was for the virtual society. Now we will understand sustainability indicators, how the story evolved of sustainability indicators. Let's start with the basic thing first. Sustainable definition. Sustainable development is a process that is constantly evolving. Its conceptualization therefore changes interpreters and their needs. Right now, we discussing sustainability through the virtual society concept is a different dimension. Whereas previously, what we were discussing sustainability with green concept, carbon emission concept, different spectrum of sustainability. The debate of the phenomena is an ongoing ending process where the purpose of the journey is not to reach the destination, but the purpose is journey itself, and it will go on and on. Eventually, it would be not a pinpointed situation that we have achieved sustainability. So, how we are going to achieve that? So, in that urge only, in September 2000, nations came together under United Nations and form the Millennium Development Goals, in which they came up with 8 points which can be tackled throughout globally and are which issues of global importance. So one of them was first was like eradicate extreme poverty and hunger, achieve universal primary education, promote gender equality and empower women, reduce child mortality, improve maternal health, combat HIV, malaria, and other diseases, ensure environmental sustainability, develop a global partnership for development. So these were all challenges what world was facing in developed countries, developing countries at different paces, at different speeds. So eventually that has to be coped. And in that urge, the target was set for 15 years. This 15-year effort was quite successful in anti-poverty movement in the history itself. The concerted efforts of the national government, the international community, civil society, and private sector have helped expand hope and opportunity for people around the world through this Millennium Development Goals. Then the job was still unfinished because we had to travel, as we know from the definition that it's a continuous process. Now the United Nations, along with 193 different countries from different parts of the world, came together to form the Sustainable Development Goals. And now they set goals even with a broader spectrum and with a broader view of society. And this was for the next 15 years. Eventually, now the targeted time is 2030. Now we have passed 5 years of our next targeted SDG goal. So the same things, but in different manner and added things with different spectrums of society were included into the Sustainable Development Goal. So first was no poverty, zero hunger, good health and well-being, quality education, gender equality, clean water and sanitation. Yes, this sixth point is the happening point right now and which is very popular right now, sanitization in this epidemic period. Affordable and clean energy, decent work and economic growth, industry innovation and infrastructure, reduce inequalities, sustainable cities and communities, responsible consumption and production, climate action. We are not only thinking of life on the earth, but life below the water, life on the land, peace, justice, and strong institution, and sharing the goals with each other and try give a hand to underdeveloped countries to get developed with the pace of developed countries. So, what are the sustainable development goals? These are the global goals which were adopted by United Nations. That is why the SDGs are designed to bring the world to several life-changing zeros, including zero poverty, hunger, AIDS, and discrimination against women and girls. Everyone is eager to reach this ambitious target, but these all things are interrelated. These all things are influenced with another parameter. If you work on one parameter, other gets influenced. So eventually we have to study all of them as a whole, but still the evaluation can take place individually for the individual indicator. So what are sustainability indicators? So when a new city is formed or the present city, if they want to bring that into the evaluation process, how the things should be. So we have a toolkit in which we can understand the indicators as the evaluators of that city to rank them as developed or underdeveloped or uh, developing nation. So eventually there are get set goals, then there is an indicators list, and those subcategories also reflect the indicators most used by the cities are studied in this area. So there were global city indicators programs also. The Global City Indicators Program (GCIP) was established by funding from World Bank. And why these indicators were evolved or introduced to enable the elected officials, city managers, and the public to monitor the performance of cities over time, facilitate comparison across cities and over time, provide an enhanced government accountability demanded by policymakers and the public. So, what were those indicators? Similar to the sustainability definition, the trio economic, social, and environmental. These three have been categorized. So, in economy, unemployment rates, jobs, underemployment, percentage of green jobs, these all things have been categorized. And even the economic growth have been calculated as per the GDP, gross domestic per capita income, growth rate to GNP, net export growth rates, and export import, foreign direct investments into a country, environment, green spaces. So yeah, after that we come to the next phase, which is environment. In under environment, we have various topics of indicators which are considered. Green spaces simultaneously keep a close look on the indicators list because these indicators are also applicable at the micro level. Afterwards, we can have a discussion on that in the question answer session, maybe. Green spaces, percentage of preserved areas, reservoirs, waterways, parks in relation to the total land area, percentage of trees in the city in the relation to city area, reduce the greenhouse gases, energy efficiency. This is what we have been listening throughout our growing years through the newspapers and educational syllabuses. Mobility, transportation, that affects the percentage of each mode of transportation, that is private, public, bicycles, pedestrians, transportation mode split, and average commute time and cost. Water quality, availability, total amount of water availability, water quality index score, proportion of population with access to adequate water. These all are all indicators which used to calculate or evaluate a city's progress. Air quality is to be minimum at the level of 2.5 mg per meter cube, or waste to use, recycle, in which other countries like Sweden are so well performing right now. They have to import uh, garbage from adjacent countries to fuel its energy programs. So some people are over excelling in the indicators and SDGs also. Social content, social, yeah, social context in the social complete connectivity, access to services within a short distance, crime rates, measures of income distribution, and all inequality and all things can come under this. Housing, affordable housing is under this indicator also. Quality public space. This is the quality public space example from Denmark, designed by Isaac Inges architect. So quality of public spaces in the city and country, education, quality of education, adult literacy rate, number of schools and educational environment, sanitation, clean water and sanitation, availability of sanitation facilities, health, morality rate, mortality rate, life expectancy, percentage of population with access to healthcare. So these were all the indicators. Now we have understood two different concepts, different and opposite to each other. One was regarding physical existing world, right now what we face in our day-to-day life, and another was virtual world, which we handle it, but it is in a controlled environment, which you control, which we control. And the other parameters were which city they are not under the control of anyone but influenced by various actions of various people living in that region. So why this requirement of paradigm shift what we are talking of has suddenly emerged? Yeah, this was there before also. It was there as in we were only trying to formulate and trying to different means for the same function, like how we will ease the global warming. Because global warming it's such a huge issue right now. Global average temperatures have risen about 1 degree Celsius since last 100 years. So last year was the hottest record, and hottest recorded in 2016 India was Pahalodi, that was 51 degrees Celsius. So 51 degrees Celsius, guys, you can imagine that if we take the bathing water, we take it at around 40-45 degrees Celsius. So 51 degrees Celsius, you will have to face strong heat wave. People start dying of heat wave after 48 degrees Celsius, 50 degrees Celsius. So these global warming and temperature rising, what is and how it is affecting? It is increasing the sea level, which is the current issue right now, and it's a serious issue. It's not like it's going to come after centuries and we have to face it after by the future generations can take care of it and all. But eventually, these all things are to be handled now through this era only, because right now this example of Australia, what we can see, Kiribati, the island country nearby to the Australian continent, is facing the same issue. 3.1 millimeter a year, the land is swallowed by the water. The sea level increasing, swallowing the land of the country. And eventually in this quest they have to shift the whole country to a different country, and that country of around 1 lakh population is planned in Fiji. Kiribati has 1 lakh person in Fiji, and they are planning to shift their residents to the Fiji island. So this is the case right now. This is one of the live examples the global facing. As we are talking about it, these people are trying to wrangle the problem physically and trying to get with this kind of situation as we talk. In a video released to commemorate the day, United Nations UNEP Chief Inger Anderson said, "We have altered and impacted about 75% of the surface of the planet Earth. Healthy people and a healthy planet is part and parcel of the same continuum. Climate change could cause an even greater danger." Whereas in last weekend, we had International 50th anniversary of Earth Day. So in that sessions also, the day is a stark reminder of the vulnerability of humans and the planet in the face of these global scale threats. UNEP's message was build back better, and we have to respond to this message through our architectural community also. The issue is our current age sees everything as an object of manufacture, as something which can be got hold of and improved or altered to produce better or more effective outcomes. This is our present fate, especially in the West, to understand all the things in this way. Education has become fragile and critical, as we can experience. These days, whatever we are learning gets outdated in 5 years. Something new arrives every time a new version comes, when we are also learning some different software. Every time we have to update with the same things. And after 5 years, and totally it's a different scenario. And we have to stand our grounds to be able to adapt the pace of the change. The brighter side of the pandemic, if we see, right now the world is experiencing a clean and pollution free environment throughout the globe because of this lockdown situation. And this can be one of the remedies, like we have to depend on virtual society at large so that we don't harm the planet in that proportion what we were doing it previously, so as to reach the 2030 SDG goals. This can be a catalyst. Virtual society can be a catalyst to achieve the same in this time span of 2030. Or other measures of development, still if we have to develop and still we have to non-pollute the thing, it would be still difficult. But this opportunity, we can understand it as an opportunity of this pandemic situation, as an opportunity to tackle the problems. This is the cities in northern India looking the view of Himalayas. This is the view. I think it is also there on the currency note of India, one of the currency notes of India, Himalayan ranges. And first time in their lives, these people are experiencing the same thing. They can spot the Himalayan ranges from around 200-250 kilometers, and which was before just covered through the air pollution. So to conclude with, we'll now try to implement both of our expertise knowledge, like virtual society, how the virtual society performs. We know in and out of these things, what are the pros and cons. We are going to study it in detail at our end, but we need to understand the sustainability indicators as urban designers, as architects also, as we have a topic of urban designing in our fourth year, third year, fourth year, as per the syllabuses of different universities. If we interpolate the virtual society points with the sustainability indicator, then we can figure out the effective performance in almost every indicator, reducing the carbon footprint of each indicator to minimum and enhancing the quality of life to its new perspective. We can have some remedies like work from home. It is working, still working. Eventually, in different parts of world, it is full-fledgedly working. In different parts of world, it is partly working. But eventually, this kind of scenario, if we can tackle and come up with some kind of options, like instead of work from home for going and working in a college or working in a job scenario, or going we can always have some part of things distributed to virtual reality. We can have it like 4 days of physical going and doing the job over there at the place where we are to go, and 2 days can be taken as virtual from the virtual society by work from home concept also. And slowly we can just make it 1 or 2 days working, and rest of the days working from home. These kind of concepts will give a quality of life. Eventually we get more time to exercise, we get more time to live with our family, we get more quality time to spend uh, to earn new skill sets, learn new things, and to a hobbyist approach towards life, which things matter to have and good lead a good life. We are missing in this urge of trying to cope up with the pace of the uh, work and jobs and other commitments right now. All these things can be done virtually. So city services, quality of life, city services, education, finance, governance, recreation, social services, transportation, wastewater, water, energy, fire and emergency response, health, safety, solid waste, urban planning. More or less, we can incorporate virtual society, and partially, as we discussed, partially we can put on the load towards virtual society and put on the load towards the physical world, and we can go on increasing the proportion of load towards the virtual society to come up with a better solution to face this global warming scenario and to reduce the pollution. And we can still increase the quality of life. So this pandemic situation can be the first case study of this experience. Virtual society's performance, how virtual society performs. This experience, what we are getting, is uh, one of its kind experience which can't be modulated or formed as in what we are experiencing right now. This lockdown has to be studied with the urban design scenario and its pros and cons. Work from home and virtual society, if used in proper way and proper intensity, economic, social, and environmental goals can be reached by the faster means. Healthy life and family life can be epicenter of human life. Again, the rest all has to be managed virtually and efficiently. Can virtual society be the remedy to paradigm shift of the society to be the new green and SDG goal? Can it be a new indicator in SDG? Can it be a universal indicator? Can it be a catalyst indicator which jumps from indicator to enhance the performance of all indicators? Discovering different ways of building virtual society by realizing reality of psychological demands of human existence and in the virtual society. Physical parameters of architecture associated with the virtual society. Also interlinking smart city project with virtual society concept at advanced level. Though we are implementing it right now, we have to step ahead and make it more pro, mapping virtual society, projecting it on the timeline and analyzing its pros and cons. We have to identify scope of the architects in buildings of virtual society and its prototypes. This will become the need of hour. We have to identify how architects are going to come up as the architects of virtual society also. Virtual reality has initiated this process like curtaining of architecture from humongous spaces to be built to instead only a tool as small as hand and handy as mobile, whereas restricting design to fit anthropometry spaces to few human scales. So we need to bear a new outlook needed to achieve the sustainable development goal. So is this the new catalyst indicator what we are talking about, virtual society? Is this the dawn of a new indicator? Is this the new green? Is this the new paradigm shift what we were discussing right now? So this was all about presentation, and these were the references link which we used to formulate the presentation. For any questions, please feel free to email us on this email ID along with the phone numbers of the phone. You can always contact us on phone numbers also. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, Professor Ravindra. It was good to know about the goal of sustainable development as well as the impact of culture on environment.